welcome back to my YouTube channel, everybody. How's your day been? Tell me down in the comments. Now we have a lot of news to cover about your third stimulus check, if you guys did not get one already. But first, tell me in the comments down below, did any of you receive a $400 payment from the IRS this weekend? If you did, then be sure to leave a comment so that other members of the community can see that stimulus checks are being sent out. But still, I'm very happy that some of you have already received your stimulus money. It is really amazing news. You guys have to count yourself lucky because not all Social Security and other federal program beneficiaries have access to their $400 yet. So congratulations again. More and more of you guys are receiving notices from the IRS Government Payment Tool that your third stimulus check will be direct deposited into your bank accounts on the date of April 7th. Even though the IRS is giving you an April 7th payment date, your stimulus money may begin pending in your bank account just a few days earlier than that. In fact, your total $1,400 could begin pending in your bank account tomorrow. And that would be super awesome. If you guys are excited for your third stimulus check, then be sure to give this video a like. Let's get this video to 1,000 likes if you believe that there should be a fourth stimulus check. But it's definitely great that you're seeing an April 7th payment date on the IRS Government Payment Tool. You can expect to finally receive your check by April 7th. It is so great that the IRS Government Payment Tool is finally working properly again, after weeks of showing no new payment status updates. And I did notice that credit union customers are also receiving their third stimulus checks on April 7th. A lot more banks have begun processing stimulus payments for its customers. Some of you had shared in the comment section that the IRS says your $1,400 will be direct deposited into your credit union accounts on April 7th. So it should not matter what bank you use. You should be able to access your third stimulus payment before or on April 7th. And many Direct Express customers have also shared that their $1,400 payments are currently pending in their accounts. But still, some banks have announced that they will not release the $1,400 checks to its customers until April 7th, this Wednesday. But a couple of weeks ago, guys, thousands of Americans all across the country were already seeing a stimulus check pending in their bank accounts. However, these banks held on to the stimulus deposits, and they were not able to access their stimulus money until a few days later. So according to multiple banks, you guys have to know this: it will take a couple of days for the checks to process. On March 15th, Wells Fargo tweeted, customers who are eligible to receive direct deposit of their stimulus payment may expect it as soon as March 17th, 2021. Wells Fargo also responded to users' complaints, noting that the bank would process all of direct deposits according to the effective date provided by the US Treasury. In a statement, a Treasury official told reporters, some people will see the money in their accounts as early as this weekend, as a pending or provisional payment until it is cleared by their financial institution. Sadly, guys, there will be some Social Security and other federal program beneficiaries that will have to wait a little bit longer than others to receive the third stimulus check. Now, also including the latest batch of stimulus payments are supplemental payments for people who earlier in March received stimulus checks based on the 2019 tax returns, but are eligible for new or larger payments based on recently processed 2020 tax returns. The IRS said in a statement that these plus-up payments could include a situation where a person's income dropped in 2020 compared to 2019. The payments also include money for people for whom the IRS previously did not have any information to issue a payment, but who recently filed a tax return. In total, the third batch includes more than 4 million payments with a total value of more than $10 billion.
And people with disabilities, $50 billion for National Science Foundation, $46 billion in federal buying power for green energy initiatives, $35 billion to develop climate solutions, and $30 billion to spur innovation in rural areas. How does this fall under the definition of infrastructure in your mind?
Well, infrastructure is no longer just roads and bridges. That's certainly a big part of it, and we need to improve on those areas and expand access in order to be competitive, and we need to catch up. Infrastructure also includes housing or water pipes that are filled with lead and are dangerous to population. All of these programs that create jobs will build additional infrastructure. You didn't mention the expansion of the internet. The internet is as essential today as electricity was when it first was invented.
So that is all the news in this video, everybody. If you guys found this video useful and helpful, don't forget to subscribe to my channel and give this video a like.
Well, as I'm sure you know, one of your predecessors as Treasury Secretary, Larry Summers, has said he sees these jobs coming back even as soon as by the end of next year, and that's an argument for not having as large a COVID relief package as the administration has. Is it possible that it makes sense to do something smaller because the recovery is on the way?
Well, I think we should want a rapid recovery. We have a large number of workers who are long-term unemployed, and we have to make sure that they're not scarred to the point where this pandemic has a permanent impact on their lives. The Congressional Budget Office estimated that without this package, it would take until 2024 to get back to full employment. And I think it's very important to have that occur sooner. You know, the package that the president and his advisors put together that's working its way through the Senate now was really geared to relieve the suffering of the American people.
So there are some projections out there that I know you've heard that the economy could even grow at a rate as high as 7 or 8% this year. You're saying even with that, this large a relief package is necessary. It's more than the entire discretionary part of the federal budget.
Well, it's a big package, but I think that we need to go big now and that we can afford to go big. And the most important thing is to get our economy back on track and help people get their lives back in order to make sure that this pandemic doesn't permanently scar our workforce. And I think this is what we need. I'm hopeful that next year, with a package of this size, we can be back at full employment. And, you know, remember, Judy, before, people talk about inflation risk. We had a 3.5% unemployment rate before the pandemic struck. A lower rate than many people think is consistent with full employment. But inflation was extremely low, if anything, too low rather than too high. So I think this is what the economy needs to get rapidly back on track.
And I did want to ask you about that because yesterday, as you know, the chair of the Federal Reserve, Jerome Powell, said that yes, there may well be inflation once this recovery gets underway, but that the Fed has tools to get it under control. Even with that, the markets reacted negatively. They don't seem to have the concern that inflation can be kept under control.
Well, I don't see that the markets are expecting inflation to rise above the 2% objective that the Fed has as an average inflation rate over the longer run. Long-term interest rates have gone up some, but mainly, I think, because market participants are seeing a stronger recovery as we have success with getting people vaccinated.